Hi everyone, Mark Benton from Lone Bull Barbecue here, and today we're cooking a rack of pork two ways. Thanks for stopping by.
The funnest! I'll cover you. Come, trust me. I'll cover you.
Please stick around to the end of the video for an upcoming event announcement. So I got the hankering for this recipe from Wilson's Barbecue, where he recently recreated the famous pork chop from Kreuz Market in Lockhart, Texas. If you're not following Wilson's, you should. Sure, he lives in the UK, but he's been taught by some of the best barbecuers in Texas. I'll link his channel in the description. Now, I've heard great things about Kreuz Barbecue, particularly their pork chops, and this quote from Roy Perez, the general manager there, convinced me I had to give it a try.
And now, like the pork chops, people that have never heard of it because all they hear is pork ribs, pork ribs, pork ribs, and they'll be looking at somebody else that's been coming here for 10, 15 years. Oh, what's that he's eating? And so that's a pork chop. Wow.
Sourcing the meat wasn't too hard. My local Costco had plenty to choose from and at a great price. They come pretty well prepared, not much trimmings necessary, though the bones could use some touch up on the Frenching. Then I had to make choices on how to prepare them. I decided to split the rack into two 4-bone sections. Then I went with a 6% salt solution to brine them for 18 hours. After that, I rinsed them, towed them off, and applied simply a layer of black pepper and garlic powder. No salt was needed because of the brine. Now I had decisions to make, like what to cook them on. One of my Santa Marias? No, I didn't want to go through the time and the attention needed for like an open fire cook for this. Maybe another time. The Chud box, again, maybe another time. I've become pretty too dependent on the Chud box recently, so I kind of want to branch out a bit. Wilson's used a PK grill, which isn't too dissimilar to the Weber. Okay, so one rack on the Weber. The other rack I want to smoke. So do I fire up the Traeger pellet smoker or the Texas Smoke King? Traeger got me through the winter, so I think it's time to go to the Texas Smoke King. Let's get it lit. Now, I was curious how the Weber and the Smoke King would compare, but I wasn't prepared for how drastic the differences actually were. So to fire up the Smoke King, I put a chimney of B&B coals, charcoal, and spread it around, and then added 4 sticks of post oak. So we use post oak throughout this. I ran the temperatures pretty much between 225 and 250 throughout. You'll notice later I did add some chicken, and I normally like to cook chicken at a higher temperature, but it worked in this case. So we waited a bit for the fire to get started, closed it up, kept the vents wide open. I had the stack about halfway closed. And now it's time to add the meat. So I did have a spare chicken in the fridge, so I just split it in half and put one on the smoker and one on the kettle. And there is our 4-rib rack. So when I cut it in half, it didn't quite come out even. One half was larger. This is a larger size. You'll see the other one here shortly when we put it on the kettle. But let's close it down, and through the magic of video, we're about 3 hours later. Uh, the chicken is done. So we're going to pull that off. And then the pork is tipping at about 140. So that's perfect. That time to pull, it will rise up to 145. But I did throw it on the kettle a bit over the grills for about 30 seconds per side just to try to get some more color. So here's the Weber. You see we've got a half chicken there, and we got the pork roast there. I'm using the S&S what's it called? The S&S sear, simple sear or sear and grate, or I forgot the name of it. Forgive me. But that's great. So you're able to, cook offset. Uh, you'll notice I've got the vent on the hood about halfway closed. I didn't want to cook it too hot in there. Uh, Chicken's done. I've got a few other pieces of meat that you ever buy those boxes of meat? They come with all single individual packaged pieces of chicken breast and hamburgers. I found these in the bottom of my freezer, my outdoor freezer. So I decided to cook those up, and we'll snack on them, or the dogs can add them to their kibble for dinner. Uh, but the chicken is looking good. Now, you might think that looks burnt, but to me, that was perfect. That skin was nice and crispy. Didn't really have a burnt flavor to it. What flavor it did added to it. So now the Pork roast is temping at about, I did let this go a little higher. It hit 140 there. Uh, it was actually about 143, I think, right there when I pulled it over. But I went over and just push it on each side just to try to get a little more color. Uh, just some of that Mylar reaction. Not too long on each, but enough to notice. And look at that. How you like that color? That's looking good. Now I'm really surprised at how these turned out. So both the kettle took about an hour and a half. I took it in and I tinted that one, and it waited an hour and a half for the other one to get done. The one on the left is the one from the Smoke King. The one on the right is the kettle. That's the one we're going to try first. Uh, so it probably would have helped if I'd have done a little more cleaning on the roast before I put it in and took out some of the bones there toward the end of the ribs, because this one I didn't have too hard a time cutting down through, but uh, the one on the left, when I tried to cut it, I ran into a bone and had a hard time getting around it. But I got to tell you guys, look at this. This is, uh, I'm not kidding. This is the best pork chop I think I've ever had in my life. My wife's going to kill me because that's my favorite meal that she makes, but that was just tender. It almost melted in your mouth as soon as you put it in there. Juicy, tender. Now it had been sitting and resting for an hour and a half. That may have something to do with it. But coming off that Weber, man, that was so good. Uh, so here is the Smoke King. And I'm gonna cut off that end piece. Now there was enough meat on the end there that there wasn't even a bone attached to that one. But now we're gonna try to cut through that bone. So I edited out that one part, me having a hard time cutting it. And of course, white meat like this doesn't really show up good on camera, but I tell you, both of them came out very juicy. Uh, they were very moist, very tender. Well, they were moist and tender.
Well, it's juicy.
I was surprised there wasn't a bigger smoke ring on the one from the Smoke King, though. But here, I'm going to give another bite of the kettle. Look how that thing's just sitting there, just flopping around. It is so tender, and it tastes outstanding. Pepper and garlic, it's all it needed. That salt was able to get into the center. That's a good bite of pork chop. So
that's
if
good.
Kreuz is anything close to this, then definitely go there if you're near Lockhart, Texas, and try it out. If you're not near there, fire up your kettle. Takes you an hour and a half. Takes you about a day to brine it. You do need to brine it, but the actual cook is no more than an hour and a half. Now we're going to try the Smoke King. Uh, I was very surprised. Oh yeah, I got pepper on my cheek. My wife was telling me. I was very surprised at how this turned out. Just the big difference. This one was not nearly as tender. You see me there. I had to kind of, rip it off. The taste was good. There's a smoke taste was there. Uh, I would say the taste though of the Smoke King did not outdo the tenderness and the moisture of the one off the kettle. So my recommendation, if you're going to do this, do it with a Weber kettle. It's easy, simple, quick. Uh, Now, none of this is going to waste. I'm going to eat every bit of it. I've already eaten. I did this yesterday, and I think I've already eaten three of them, three of those pork chops. So we're going to go through those pretty quick, I think. But there I am. There's the choice. I would go with the kettle version every time. So I hope you guys try this out. If you do, please let me know. Sunday, May 17th, 2026, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Come on out to Anderson, Texas for the 4th annual Cruising for a Cure to benefit the American Cancer Society. So if you're in Houston, Bryan College Station, heck, even Austin, it's only a 2-hour drive. Come on over. It's a great time. If you've got a antique car you want to bring, it's a $25 registration fee. They're giving out awards. And I am volunteering to cater the event with some barbecue. This event is, as I mentioned, the 4th annual held here in Anderson, Texas. not to be confused with Anderson County. So we're in Grimes County. Uh, Dodie Emmons is the lady that puts this on. And here's Dodie and I at the first event back in 2023.
Hey, we're out here with Dodie with Cruising for a Cure. Would you like to kind of introduce the event and what's going on and who it's for?
This is our going to be an annual car show for the American Cancer Society Cancer Action Network. We go to Washington, D.C. and lobby for bills, and also in Austin for y'all, for cancer patients and their survivors, for research development and patient services.
Outstanding. So you got a lot of entries today?
We had 30 cars show up today, which is very good for our first one in Anderson. We hope to grow the show every year. Maybe not do it on Memorial Day weekend next year, but we would really love to fill this place because one penny can make a difference in a cure.
Agreed. Well, I appreciate you guys coming out. It looks like it was a great number of entries, and a lot of people showed up, and we look forward to seeing you next year.
Yes, I look forward to coming back.
Great, thanks.
So Longville Barbecue will be there catering the event. We're going to be giving out free food, so free pork sandwiches, barbecue beans, coleslaw. We're going to go ahead and pay for all the food, do the preparation, hand it out, but I could use some help with some of the utensils. So there's an Amazon list that I put together for things like plates and cups and silverware, maybe even some barbecue sauce. So if anybody could help me out, I greatly appreciate it. The link to the Amazon list will be in the description. But whether or not you decide to do that, that's up to you. I appreciate it. But come on out, say hi, enjoy some great antique cars, and enjoy the day. We hope to see you then. Cheers.
See you next time.